Imagine dropping $150,000 on a car that was supposed to make you feel like a king, only to watch it lose value faster than a crypto scam. Welcome to the brutal truth behind cheap supercars. These weren't budget rides. They were once showstoppers, machines that roared on magazine covers and sat proudly in millionaire garages. But now, they're selling for the price of a new Honda Civic. And it's not just depreciation, it's betrayal. Bad engineering, poor timing, and brand hype turned some of these vehicles into automotive disasters. So before you go chasing horsepower with your savings, let's take a ride through 7 cautionary tales that prove one thing: luxury can be a financial death trap. And here's the kicker. Some of these cars look like they've held their value. They still turn heads, still get clicks on Instagram, but their resale numbers tell a different story. These are the vehicles that aged like milk. Some lost respect, others lost performance. A few never had either, but every single one of them lost something much worse: your money. And if you think you're smart enough to avoid this trap, think again, because even experienced gearheads have been burned by these rolling red flags. 1. Maserati Gran Turismo. Let's kick things off with the Maserati Gran Turismo, the Italian dream that turned into a mechanical nightmare. When it first hit the streets, it looked like a cover model and sounded like a Ferrari. It was a Ferrari underneath. After all, that 4.7-liter V8 screamed pure adrenaline. The design? Flawless. Elegant. Timeless. It was a car that whispered class and roared chaos. But now, you can pick one up for less than $125 Kelvin. That's right, $125 Kelvin for a former $130 Kelvin exotic. And still, people are scared to touch it. Why? Because it eats money for breakfast. What they don't tell you in the listing is that a single electronic failure can cost more than the car itself. Owners joke that it has personality, but what they mean is, it decides when it wants to start. Suspension issues, transmission problems, and temperamental wiring make every drive a gamble. It's not transportation, it's a slot machine on wheels. And while it may look like you've struck gold, the truth is you're sitting on a financial time bomb. You don't buy a Gran Turismo, you inherit a lifestyle of stress and surprise repair bills. And let's be real, Maserati has never exactly been a reliability icon. Combine Ferrari-level maintenance costs with Chrysler-level electronics, and you get a beautiful disaster. Most buyers jump in blind, lured by that intoxicating V8 and jaw-dropping price tag. But after a year of ownership, many are running back to Toyotas, scarred and broke. This is the kind of car that makes you feel rich, until you actually try to live with it. And by then, it's already too late. 2. Aston Martin DB9. Next up, the Aston Martin DB9. On the surface, it's James Bond cool. Handcrafted aluminum panels, a thunderous V12, and curves that melt hearts. It was supposed to be the ultimate gentleman's cruiser, refined, powerful, and iconic. But under that tailored British suit lies a brutal truth. This $180,000 masterpiece now sits abandoned on used car lots for under $30 Kelvin. That's not a deal. That's a warning. A big one. Because what you're getting is not just a car. It's a financial sinkhole disguised in leather and walnut trim. The DB9 has one of the most deceptive exteriors in car history. It looks like a dream, but once you own it, you're trapped in a recurring nightmare of repair costs and outdated tech. Want a new clutch? That's $4,000. Infotainment screen glitching? Welcome to early 2000s second menus and software that barely speaks English. And the parts? Good luck. Most are backordered, if they even exist anymore. Aston's reputation for elegance was built on marketing, not maintenance. But the real heartbreak? The way it drives. It's soft. It's sluggish. The gearbox feels like it's taking a tea break between shifts. And if something goes wrong, and it will, you're not just paying in cash. You're paying in frustration. It's the kind of car that makes you question every decision you've ever made. You won't feel like Bond. You'll feel like the villain who financed a ticking time bomb. And once again, you're reminded, just because something looks expensive doesn't mean it's worth a damn. 3. BMW i8. Let's talk about betrayal in carbon fiber form. The BMW 1.8. When this car launched, it was pitched as the future of performance. A hybrid supercar with butterfly doors, laser headlights, and spaceship styling, people went crazy. With a price tag nearing $150,000, it was supposed to redefine the modern sports car. But now, you can find id second collecting dust in classifieds for under $40 Kelvin. And no, that's not a typo. The same car that once headlined auto shows is now struggling to be taken seriously on Facebook Marketplace. Why? Because it looked like a beast, but performed like a boosted Prius. That three-cylinder engine, yes, 3 cylinders, sounded like a lawnmower trying to sing opera. It wasn't slow, but it didn't match the promise. And when the future tech inside started aging, it aged hard. The battery system loses charge fast. The iDrive system, clunky by today's standards. And when something breaks, and it will, BMW's repair costs make you feel like you bought a spaceship with no manual. And let's talk about perception. The i8 became the poster child for buyers who wanted to look rich without understanding cars. It was all style, no substance. Car enthusiasts mocked it. Collectors ignored it. And now it's stuck in limbo, too complicated to be a cheap daily, and too underwhelming to be a collectible. It was supposed to be the car of tomorrow, but it feels like a warning from the past. 4. Lamborghini Gallardo, early models. Now buckle up, because this one stings. The Lamborghini Gallardo, yes, a real Lambo, is now showing up for less than $70 Kelvin. A supercar that once cost $180,000 can now be had for the price of a loaded Tesla. Sounds like the deal of the decade until you actually own one, because early Gallardos are not aging gracefully. That e-gear transmission? Slower than a bored valet. Clutch replacements? Up to $10,000. And that's if you can find a shop that even wants to touch it. The early Gallardos were the first Lambo under Audi's control, and it shows. Some say that's a good thing, more reliable, more refined. But others say it stripped the car of its soul. And that e-gear system? It was Lamborghini's attempt at F1 tech, but executed like a first-year engineering student's project. Every gear change feels like a body slam. It's brutal, jarring, and after a while, just plain annoying. And let's not ignore the saturation problem. Everyone and their cousin's favorite YouTuber daily drove a Gallardo at some point. The market was flooded. The mystique faded. Now these cars are seen more as starter exotics than serious collectibles. They're loud, flashy, and fun for about 6 months. Then, the reality hits. You're spending 5 figures a year just to keep it from falling apart. The Gallardo may wear a bull on its badge, but it'll trample your wallet without mercy. 5. Ferrari 612 Scaglietti. You'd think a 4-seater Ferrari with a V12 would be a surefire hit. But the Ferrari 612 Scaglietti proved that even the prancing horse can stumble hard. Originally priced at over $300,000, it was meant to be the Ferrari for those who wanted speed and practicality. But instead, it landed with a thud. Today, it's trading hands for under $80 Kelvin, and the few people buying them, they're either extremely brave or extremely unaware of what's coming next. The problem wasn't just the design though, let's be honest. It looked more like a bloated hatchback than an Italian exotic. It was the electronics. Ferrari packed the 612 with early 2000 tech that barely worked when it was new. Now, it's like trying to sync your iPhone to a fax machine. Screens glitch, sensors die, and don't even ask about the climate control system. It might randomly decide what temperature you should be feeling today. But the biggest punch in the gut? Owning one doesn't even feel that special. It's too big, too soft, and too disconnected. It doesn't thrill like a 458, and it doesn't inspire fear like an F12. It exists in a strange limbo, too exotic to ignore, too problematic to embrace. It was supposed to be the future of Ferrari GTs. Instead, it became the awkward middle child no one talks about. 6. Mercedes SLS AMG. The Mercedes SLS AMG should have been untouchable. Gull-wing doors. Hand-built 6.2-liter V8. A noise that could wake the dead. This car screamed modern icon, and it was priced accordingly over $220,000 new. For a while, it held its value, but then came the crash. Some models started dipping under $90 Kelvin. That's a brutal fall for a car with that kind of pedigree. And it raised a chilling question. If the SLS can drop that far, what supercar is truly safe? The culprit? Uncertainty. Owners began worrying about maintenance costs, long-term parts availability, and that terrifying reality every AMG owner eventually faces massive repair bills. That V8 is a masterpiece, but it's surrounded by early 2010 Mercedes tech that didn't age well. Electrical gremlins, infotainment systems that feel ancient, and materials that wear out faster than you'd expect at this price point. It's like buying an elegant time capsule that leaks oil. But make no mistake, the SLS still can be a future classic. Values are starting to bounce back. But the fact that it dipped so low proves one thing. The supercar market is ruthless. If there's even a whisper of doubt, performance, reliability, demand, the value drops like a stone. And the SLS? It fell hard before people realized what they had. A rare, violent reminder that not even legends are immune to the fall. 7. Acura NSX, second generation. And now for the most painful disappointment on this list. The second-gen Acura NSX. Honda promised us a rebirth of a legend, a spiritual successor to the car that defined the 92nd. What we got instead was a $156,000 technical marvel with no soul. Sure, it was fast. Sure, it had advanced hybrid tech, but the emotional connection? Gone. Today, these are selling for under $80 Kelvin. And they're not flying off the shelves. They're stuck. This was supposed to be the Japanese Ferrari. Instead, it felt like an expensive science project. Reviews were polite, not passionate. The hybrid system was impressive, but overly complex. And when owners compared it to the original NSX lightweight, raw, driver-focused, the new one felt like it was built in a lab, not a garage. It did everything right on paper, and nothing right in the heart. Even worse, Acura barely marketed the thing. It came and went without impact. It didn't dominate track days. It didn't go viral. It just existed. And now it's vanishing into the used market like it was never there at all. A tragic ending for a car that deserved better but never earned it. These aren't just supercars. They're cautionary tales on four wheels. And the truth is, they all looked like dream machines when they launched. Sleek, powerful, seductive. But what happens after the spotlight fades? The numbers tell the story. Some of these cars have lost over $200,000 in value and fast. And now we want to hear from you. Have you ever owned or driven a car like this? Or maybe you've dreamed of picking one up now that the price has dropped? Drop your experience in the comments. You might just help someone else avoid a costly mistake or inspire someone to take the leap. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the darker side of supercar ownership, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. It helps us grow, keeps these videos coming, and ensures you never miss the next wild story from the world of cars. Thanks for watching. We appreciate every single one of you who rides along with us. Stay tuned, because what we're covering next is something you definitely don't want to miss.